Hilda, were you and your husband able to celebrate your wedding anniversary?
We did. We went up the street. We dined out the plate 38. If you guys have tried it, it's really good, actually. I was a little disappointed with the service. They put us outside. Of course, everything is outside. And we had bugs around us. So that was the only bad thing. But outside of that, the food was good.
Did you leave the kids at home?
Of course. Our kids are adults now. They don't need us.
So you had bugs and ash, right?
Well, that was before. That was before
Okay. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, everyone.
I think we have two people that we don't recognize, Saroon, and we have a phone number of 255-8158.
Is that Chris? It could be.
It's me, Isaac.
Oh, hi, Isaac.
Yeah, I'm on the road, so I use the phone.
I'll rename him Gilda.
So Chris Datwai, you are you're chair of the foundation, is that correct? Because we've run into each other at the district. I'm district treasurer this year. This is Phil Miles.
Yes.
Pasadena Club I'm visiting today, and you give the foundation report, I believe, the district foundation report.
That's correct.
Yeah, and you also wrote the highlighter, which is the newsletter for the foundation, I believe.
No, I don't have anything to do with the highlighter.
I thought you used to publish it.
Posted online, but no effort to do that.
I'm giving you too much credit. I was just trying to, gather wealth.
Hello, Grace. Hello, Dr. Chang.
Hi.
Hello, Mike Dreby.
Are you the current president of Pasadena?
Hi, guys.
Oh.
Hi, everyone.
The current president is Ken
Joe.
Ken Joe, yeah, there you go.
Okay, got it. All right.
And I see Isaac there. Haven't seen Isaac for a while.
We'll get started in 4 minutes, folks.
Okay.
Hey, Phil.
Hi. Who am I speaking with?
Russ.
Russ. Hey, Russ. How are you?
Good. It's been a while.
Oh, yeah. You look familiar. Seen you on Zoom.
Were you the same year, Russ and Phil?
No, Phil and I knew each other from probably 30 years ago, Crown City Brewery, and also
Russ.
Oh, yeah.
And,
oh boy, there's too much information, Russ.
Yeah. Well, the also from your van. Are you still selling vans?
No, I gave that up. Oh yeah, I know the school bought some vans from us. No, our supplier got bought out by Enterprise. So.
Oh, that's great. I think.
So that was okay. I've been mostly doing Rotary stuff and doing a little bit of financial planning. Personally.
Now, is Crown City still open? I remember that place.
No, it was called the something or other, the congregation. I don't know.
A long time ago, yeah.
I don't know who congregates there. I don't. But we're using the luggage room, the pizza place.
50 years.
Luggage room. The luggage room is the La Grande Orange. We've been using that place until recently. Yeah, how's the school, Russ?
Well, it's not. You might want to ask Mr. Nash instead of me. He's probably more knowledgeable than I am right now.
Oh, okay. Is it open?
The school is open.
Hi.
And everything is working. That's all I can say. Everything is working. We do have students, and we do have students outside of the country. So we're doing quite well.
Yeah. Well,
we could do better, and only the future will tell.
Outside of the country? Where are the students?
I can't really mention all of that, but I'll just say that we're doing fine. Yes.
Okay. Well, one of our friends, it's actually Shelley's boyfriend. We were married. She had a boyfriend called Michael, who used to follow her around in Anaheim Hills when we lived there, and he actually ended up going to the school, and that's how we found out about it first.
He was 6 then.
Yeah.
I was 25, and now he's 47.
Uh-oh, that's a giveaway. For those mathematicians among us.
Right. Right. We'll get
Jared's
started
already
in
got
1
it
minute.
figured out.
What's that?
JP's got it figured out already. Just like that.
JP?
He's got the math done just like that.
I got it all, thank you.
Hi, Maurice.
Hey, Phil.
Yes.
I just wanted to say, like most private schools in the country, everyone's making adjustments.
Yes. Yes.
Even Poly and places that we have in Pasadena. So the Southwestern Academy is making their adjustments, and the future looks much, much better than last week.
Oh, good, good. Well, it's a beautiful campus. I remember that, and you know, it's a great location.
All right, folks, let's get started. As we remember that September is Basic Education and Literacy Month in the Rotary world, I call the September 17, 2020 meeting of the Rotary Club of San Marino to order. We are truly a club that
Thanks.
makes a difference. Friends. Okay, please stand and join me in reciting the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. Let me get that up in 1 second here. Here we go. Can you all see that?
Yes.
Yes, okay, great. First,
Is it the truth?
second,
Is it fair to all
concerned? Third,
Will it build goodwill and better relationships?
Fourth,
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you. Please remain standing while I bring up the flag. Okay. Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance invocation led today by J.P. Mungi.
Okay, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
And now for short prayer, if you want to bow your head. We are praying for patience so we can go safely through these pandemic times. We are praying for patience to trust those with whom we depend, from whom we depend in our daily lives, and patience to care for those who highly depend on us. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, JP. Please be seated. Okay, next we'll have introduction of guests.
Okay, thank you, Aaron. You guys can hear me okay? All right. So first off, if I can ask everybody to open their chat at the bottom of your screen, there's a bubble that says chat, and you should see the sign-in form that I posted. If you didn't, I'll repost it throughout the meeting. And we do want you to sign in. If you're a Rotarian or a guest, doesn't matter, please sign in. It's also a good method for us to follow up with you and share with you future programs. And for our guests today, let me just go through the screen. We have a duo, a couple, Phil and Shelley Miles. Phil is part of the Pasadena Rotary Club, and Shelley joins in whenever she's able. Pleasure to have you both here with us today. Okay, let's see. Mike is not a guest, but he's not inducted yet. So Dr. Michael Lynn, principal at Carver, will be inducted next week. Come back for the show. We're gonna have 5 people getting inducted. So Mike, nice to have you again today. Devin Corlew, also she's going to be a Rotarian next week. She's going to be full-fledged when she gets inducted. She's the executive director at the YMCA. Nice to have you again. I don't know who iPad 26 is. Okay. Jason Kurtenbach also has been coming and visiting with us. He's the principal at the San Marino High School. He will also be inducted next week. Nice to have you again. Okay. Jacob Broussard, I think your camera just went off. I know you're presenting a little bit later with his Eagle project. Nice to have you, Jacob. Okay. And I don't know who Saroon is. It would be great if you could let us know. And I believe that's it. Did I miss anybody?
I think that's it.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you, Gilda, and welcome everyone. Thank you. Welcome to our club. Okay, now it's time for our pandemic pig envelopes. You kind of show your envelopes and show your money. Great, more participation, that's wonderful. Okay, let's put in our money, great. And I think next week when we have new members, all our new members are here, I think we'll go ahead and re-explain the program so that we can get as much contributions as we can. Thank you so much everyone for doing that. Terrific, okay. Birthdays, September 16th, which was yesterday, is Richard Lord. So if you see him, say happy birthday. Member anniversaries. As of September 18th, Dennis Neer is celebrating his 16th year. And I think that's just with the Rotary Club, because I know he was a member of LA5 prior to that. So I thought I saw Dennis here. Okay. Also, September 19th is Iris Yang. She'll be celebrating a year with our club. If you see them, please congratulate them on their member anniversaries. Okay, announcements. We will start with Gilda. You have an announcement regarding our survey?
Yes, if you remember at the beginning of Aaron's term, I had said that we were going to do a survey. So I want to thank Edwin. I don't think I had seen Edwin before, but Edwin, I'm glad to see you. Edwin actually put the survey together. The purpose of the survey is to really find out what you guys are doing, our Rotarians. So it's going to be sent to all of our Rotarians. You'll see it later today. It'll be in an email to all of our Rotarians, and then we'll give you a link to our website. The purpose of the survey, it should take you no more than 2 minutes. The purpose of the survey is to find out if we haven't seen you, where you've been, and how we can get you onto the Zoom format and how we can help you. It's also to find out what other projects you guys are doing that we can let the club know about, and we can together do more work around the community. So please respond to that email. I'm expecting 100% participation on that 2-minute survey. And Aaron, if you don't mind, I just saw a guest of mine has arrived, yes. So I'm going to introduce her.
Please.
Isabel, pleasure to have you. Isabel Duran. She actually is with a nonprofit called Operation Hope. And it looks like Denise knows her. So that's neat. I love it. Isabel is with, she's in a networking group with me, a part of Team Referral Network. And I'd asked her to come and visit and get to know what we do, and for us to get to know her as well. So welcome. Nice to have you.
Welcome, Isabel.
Thank you.
And then Gilda Saroon was Bulga, so he's a Rotarian.
And I renamed him. Hopefully iPad 26 will let us know who he or she is.
I believe that's Dennis. That's Dennis, yeah. Okay, thank you so much, Gilda, and thank you to you, to the membership committee, and to Edwin for creating those surveys. And everyone, please look up for that message and please complete those surveys. Okay, Bill Payne, do we have an update on the garden? Let me unmute you. Okay, you're not muted.
I drove by yesterday because I was told by the high school that it would be finished by the mid-month, and it looked the same to me as it was 3 weeks ago. And I'm understanding that we're waiting for the brass plaque. And the brass plaque is not the responsibility of the high school. The high school's finished with it, with what their obligation was.
Okay.
So there's apparently a parent or a group of parents that has ordered, hopefully, the plaque, but I don't know when it's coming in, where it's going to be installed, what it's going to look like. And apparently nobody in the high school does either. So I guess we'll wait it out.
Okay.
I don't know whether Greg Johansson has any new information.
I don't think he's on the call, but he is in contact with the person who was in the former student who was in charge of that. So hopefully he can shed some light for us. Okay, I think we lost him. I think we lost Bill Payne. Okay, another announcement I wanted to make was regarding the pledge and invocation. As you know, we need folks to sign up for the pledge and invocation. We have dates available in October, so let me go ahead and send everyone the link. If you can take a look, if we can fill October, that'd be fantastic. Take a look at the date that's available and then place your name right next to it. That would really help us. Specifically for October, if you can help, please do so. All it is reciting the Pledge of Allegiance and saying a short invocation. It can be a prayer, it can be a inspirational quote, whatever you like. We really appreciate your help. Thank you so much. Okay, with that, I will now present. We have another Eagle Scout project that will make a presentation today. And the name of that scout is Jacob Brassard. He is here today. And Jacob, are you ready? Go ahead and go off of mute.
Yeah, hey, again, I'm Jacob. I'm currently a junior at San Marino High, and I'm doing an Eagle project. So first, this Eagle project is different than usual because, of course, we're in the time of COVID-19, and there has been made some accommodations. Additionally, it's at the YMCA, and we have the director here on the meeting, so that's something. So I'm gonna share my screen real quick. Okay, and I'm gonna start presenting. Can you all see this?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so this is my Eagle project, and we're gonna start with the background. So the YMCA of San Marino and South Pass, so they own an empty lot currently, and it used to be used for Christmas tree sales, but that's no longer the case. So right now it's just sitting empty and unused. And here's just a picture of the lot and what's going on there. So let me start explaining my project. So our plan is to beautify this plot of land and make it usable for YMCA use. So be it recreation, to have events there, or pretty much anything. But right now, that's not the case for a few reasons. And it's mainly because one, it's not really looking good, and two, there's these concrete pads that exist. And this would mean that children really can't play there because it's a safety hazard. So we're actually going to remove that. And they're only about 6 inches thick. So we're just going to put a stick under it and you can break it in two that way. But what we need volunteers to do is install a hedge at the front. Now, a hedge would not only beautify it, but it would make it more suitable for YMCA recreation use. Because then people would feel safer to have their kids like using that plot of land or having YMCA use it. So in order to install the hedge, we're gonna need people to dig holes. And here we have a video of it. Now this is my dad digging a hole, and many of you know my dad, Paul Brassard, and he's not the liveliest of people, but it only took him 5 minutes to dig this hole. So if he can do it, anyone can. And this is just a time lapse of him digging the hole. So the holes need to be about 2 feet deep and 1 foot wide. And we're gonna plant some hedges in it. And also, in order to enter the project, there's a gate on the side that we've opened that will allow you to get inside. Okay, now we're gonna go over first the COVID restrictions. And now because of COVID restrictions, people can only work together if they live together. So if you live with someone, you're able to volunteer with them, but nothing more than that. And in order to make sure that we don't have people working at the same time and breaking the guidelines set by the Boy Scouts of America, I have made a Google Sheets, which I'm going to post in the chat. And you can sign up for a time slot which you can work. So pretty much you just bring your own shovel and you can dig a hole. We'll have it staked out and everything prepared. Also, we'll water the ground so it'll be easier to dig. Because we found that if we water the ground, it's much easier. If it's not watered, it's pretty much impossible. And additionally, besides volunteers, we're also going to need some funding because you need to fund these projects. So our estimated cost is about $2,000. The main cost is the hedge. We also need to remove the concrete and get some irrigation device so we can water the hedges and make sure they don't die. And a cool thing about this project is it's going to last a long time. Now, right now during COVID, a lot of people are doing making masks and stuff for their project. But this is the type of project that if you come by like 20 years later, you can still see it being there. And it also help beautify the community. Because as you may know, a lot of people here have used the Y. I, for one, have. I took swimming lessons there as a kid. And now I'm a lifeguard at the YMCA. And I'm a lifeguard at the Rose Bowl. So it just shows that this is a very important part of our community and we should help support it. Additionally, any unused funding is going to be donated to the YMCA. And they're kind of cash strapped right now because they haven't been able to open for a long time. So that's pretty much all. And I'm going to post this spreadsheet if you want to sign up. Additionally, for donations, in the meeting after this Rotary meeting, I heard that the board is going to see if they can make it where you can donate to them and get a tax write-off, and then they'll give me the funds for the project. But that'll be taken care of afterwards. So that's it, and I'll stop presenting.
Okay, thank you, Jacob. Okay, so to donate, Jacob, can you tell folks how they can donate, even if without the San Marino Rotary link?
I have a GoFundMe currently.
Okay.
I can post that afterwards or like send an email.
Okay, do you know if that's tax deductible through GoFundMe?
It's harder to say.
Okay.
Especially right now, the BSA is struggling with paperwork because they kind of went bankrupt recently. So
Okay.
that might not be the
okay.
most surefire way.
So we will update Rotarians.
I see Mrs. Bryce has a question.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
You can go ahead and ask.
Barbara.
Jake, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Jacob, I really commend you for this project. I seduced and married an Eagle Scout from Camp Cherry Valley, so I'm in favor.
I worked there last summer, actually.
Well, he worked there several summers ago, but anyway, I have a fondness in my heart for Eagle Scouts. Thanks to the auspices of our member John Jones, there has been made funds available for projects like yours, student initiated, and we're going to send you an application where you can apply for Rotary funds. This is separate from any funds that a volunteer would like to contribute in addition to what you request. It's $1,000 maximum, and John and Grace and I have been working on this, so you should have the application today or tomorrow.
I have the application. I just haven't been able to fill it out because of my schoolwork.
Well, don't worry. You have until the 1st of October, our deadline. And the second question I have is, could I adopt you? Because I certainly could use your technical skills in my limited capacity that I have. But thank you very much for presenting the project. And I do have a question about what would you do with the grass area that's equally as ugly as the fence that's currently there?
I think that's a greater issue that like the YMCA can take care of. It is quite nice during the spring months. During the summer, it dries up because the land is kind of unirrigated. But it should look much nicer like once the rains come this winter.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. Do we have more questions? I saw John, you had your hand raised. John,
No, that's the same thing.
Okay. Okay. Do we have more
Aaron?
questions for Jacob?
Yeah, I saw
Yes,
Mr. Neer had a question.
Aaron, let me just, this funding thing, we are not in the business of trying to fund every single Eagle Scout that comes along. On the other hand, we're Gavin Hussein, did that because he's part of the Troop 351, which we sponsor that troop. And talking with Aaron, we would be happy to help in the funding with Jacob because of his nexus, because of his dad in the club. But let me just, I know you're not going to be able to read this, but this is what we have done with Gavin's project. Some Rotarians have said fine, charge their credit card, but mostly the funds have come from outside people. And already we have $3,541 in his account. That is a restricted account in Rotary Charities. And assuming that the board approves this kind of a protocol for Jacob, we can set up exactly the same thing. And if anybody wants to contribute, they just either send a check to and make it out to San Marino Rotary Charities, send it to me, and it'll go into this restricted account. Or as about 6 or 8 people gave me credit cards, and so some of that $3,500 came from Rotarians. Most of it came from the outside people. So we can do the same thing if the board wants and if Jacob wants to handle it this way. And then we have the money here, and as they say, here's a receipt, or this is what I want to buy, or whatever. We just write a check out of charities and we'll give it to, in this case, Gavin, in Jacob's case, Jacob. So we're set up that we can do it, is what I'm saying. And it's up to, I'm going to say to Jacob, you can't rely on the Rotary Club members to come up with $2,000. You're going to have to go out and hit up your friends or your parents' friends or whatever, and or people that are Eagle Scouts. So I know that Scott would be happy to contribute. Is that right, Barbara? And
that's correct, Dennis.
Thank you.
Well, I'm an Eagle Scout, but you forgot to seduce me. So
okay.
But you did get me onto a good car, so that you're forgiven on that. Right. So that's the way it works. And if the board approves it, and if Jacob wants to do it that way, we can.
Thank you, Dennis. Do we have any more questions for Jacob and his project? Please raise your hand so I can see you clearly. Oh, Russ.
Just one question. I wanted to know the exact address of the lot, if you had that.
Here, give me a sec. I have it somewhere. I have a picture of like
post
the map.
In chat. If you want to just post it in chat, that's fine.
Yeah, I just need to pull it up.
Okay.
It's on the corner of Huntington Drive and Garfield, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've bought many a Christmas trees from that lot before. I remember that.
Okay, do we have any more questions for Jacob? Raise your hands. Okay. What we will do is once the board has made a decision, Jacob, we'll go ahead and make that announcement at next week's meeting so that hopefully, we can have some Rotarians contribute. If Rotarians feel they want to contribute starting today, you have a GoFundMe. Do you post that already on the chat?
Yeah. It's going to take me a while because there's some issues with it. But can I say one more thing?
Yes.
Right now you can still start volunteering if you want.
That's right.
Because that's actually free. You can dig a hole as much as you want. And they'll be ready starting Saturday. It'll be all staked out and watered.
So how many holes does one person dig? Is it just one hole or how?
Well, it doesn't matter. As long as you could dig 1 or you could dig 5.
Okay.
As much as you really want to work. Because again, it's volunteering, so that's up to you. And some people might be able to dig 5 holes really easily, or some people might struggle with 1, and that's just up to your own personal level.
Okay.
And hopefully the air clears up, because right now I know it's kind of unpleasant to go outside.
Yeah. And Jacob, will you be there at every time to help?
I'm actually not allowed to.
Okay.
If you have any questions, I have my contact information in the Google
Will
form.
somebody be there to direct? You have to bring your own shovel, or how does that work?
Yeah, you have to bring your own shovel, because right now only one family group's allowed to work at a single time.
Okay.
So if you live with them, you can work with them, and that's about as best we can do.
Okay. All right. Any last questions for Jacob? I have Edwin.
Can you place the address into the group chat? From there, I can search it up.
Yeah, sure. Just give me
Thank
a
you,
sec.
Edwin. Any other questions? Okay, folks, let's give Jacob a round of applause for his presentation.
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to find the address real quick.
Okay. Best wishes, Jacob. Good luck. Okay, one more quick announcement. As you recall, Gunter from East Meets West Club announced this speaker this coming Sunday. Is that Sunday? Yes. From 3 to 4:30 p.m. And what I'm going to do, we had quite a number of people ask how to register, and I'm going to go ahead and post that link here so that if you're interested, please go ahead and click that link and register for that talk. Okay? Thank you so much. Next week for our program, our guest speaker is Michael T. Roberts on the role of food law in everyday consumer products. Special thanks to JP and the Programs Committee for arranging that program. Okay, I will now turn it over to JP to introduce our guest speaker.
All right, thank you, Aaron. Shelley, I'm very happy that you've accepted this time with us, and we are going to learn a lot from your presentation. But for those of you who don't know you, I would like to say a few words. You spent many years leading the growth and development of entertainment and technology businesses, including at the Walt Disney Company, where you started the interactive games business and managed record music and music publishing businesses. You've been one of the founders of the Pasadena Ronald McDonald House, and you have served on the boards of nonprofits, including the National Children's Chorus and Ronald McDonald House, Southern California. You are now you've been a USC alumni and a California CPA, and you are currently serving as Executive Director and CEO of the Singleton Foundation for Financial Literacy and Entrepreneurship. Shelley, take it away.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me. I'm really honored to be here. And I'm going to talk about one of my favorite subjects, which is financial literacy and entrepreneurship. So give me a moment while I share my screen and hope that everything works well. So are you able to see my screen?
Yes, we can see Shelley.
Excellent. So what I'd like to talk to you about today is what's going on with financial literacy, and to speak to you about how our foundation is using entertainment and gaming to address financial literacy today. So our mission is all about inspiring entrepreneurship and making financial competence fun and engaging and available for everybody. And the reason we're doing this is it turns out that financial literacy in the United States is a huge problem. And especially for millennials and Zs, the Zs are the ones that come after the millennials. Less than half of them can answer even basic financial literacy questions, like if you invested $100 with 2% interest rate, how much would you have at the end of the year? And I don't know how many of you can relate to that with kids. 80% of people in America can't even meet a $400 emergency expense. So that tells us that people don't have emergency funds. And under 25-year-olds are actually the fastest growing group filing bankruptcy. Only
Sorry.
6. Yes.
Shelley, I'm so sorry to interrupt you. We can't see your slides. I think we only see your notes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We see the whole thing.
There
Yeah.
we go. There we go.
Perfect.
Thank you. So sorry.
Let me just open this in a new window, and I'm so glad you said something. So I am going to pause this for a moment. Well, I don't need it actually. So on top of that, let me get to where I was. On top of that, financial literacy is not taught at school. It's not taught at home. 67% of parents don't even talk about it. And jobs are changing. 90% of the jobs that'll exist in 2030 don't exist today. People are going to live a long time. There's no more pensions. And all that is before we had a pandemic. The average millennial graduates with $42,000 in debt. They're starting their lives. So it's really important. And on top of that, entrepreneurship is down. So even though we hear about the high tech companies and all of what's going on with them, there's actually 44% less percentage of businesses, first-year businesses in the country than there was in 1978. And entrepreneurship is where all of the new jobs are created. So it's important that we figure out how to have new businesses and support small businesses. So those are the inspirations for what we're doing. So we decided to do something about it. And we thought, well, how can we make a sea change? That's what the Singleton family wants to do. And to me, that meant creating a movement. So the movement is to make financial competence a vital part of the millennial and Gen Z lives and have them embrace this as something important that they need to do in order to plan their futures with confidence and to empower them with the skills. So we started thinking about, well, how do you make a movement and what does that mean? And we thought, well, first you have to know what the problem is. Then you have to engage people in it and communicate it to them. And then you have to give them a means to make it their own. And so we thought, well, let's go learn about that. So we had some hunches about what was going on out in the world. We had actually gone out and looked at what is the state of people using financial resources that are available, because banks have financial resources, colleges had them. If you Google financial literacy on the internet, you get a million things. And what we found is that people don't use them so much. We looked up a financial literacy video from a really well-known university, and it had 3,000 views over 7 years. So that wasn't working very well. We looked at another one that was from a bank that had the resources to reach out and market, and that one had 12,000 views in 3 years. And then someone sent me a cat video, and that video had 58 million views in 1 year. And so we thought, well, that's who we want to be. And we also wanted to know, like, why aren't people using the resources available? So we teamed up with George Washington University. They have a Global Financial Literacy Excellence Center. And here's what, we surveyed 2,000 millennials, and here's what we learned. It's boring. It's complicated. It's confusing. They don't know who to trust. And it's taboo to talk about money. So we thought, well, millennials go around looking at these all day. I guess all of us do now. And so how do we reach them? And we came up with an idea that we thought was just so crazy it might work. There's so many wonderful programs out there that are teaching financial literacy. There's there's the Council on Economic Education. There's the Network for Teaching Entrepreneurship. There's Junior Achievement. So we knew we didn't want to do that because they're already doing that. And how do we reach people? So we thought we'd try to capture the power of entertainment to attract people's attention and to make a change. So we went out, and after thinking about the cat video some more, we came to the conclusion that it's a marketing problem and it's a content problem. In fact, some of these videos on financial literacy, my millennial daughter looked at one and she said, "Mom, I knew it was boring the second I saw the logo." So she wasn't going to watch it. And if you can't engage people, how would you expect them to be able to learn and want to learn and make it their own? So we went out and hired a bunch of entertainment executives, people from the BBC and Disney and Sony and DreamWorks and Sega and Electronic Arts and all these companies to put together a program. And we came up with 2 programs I'd like to tell you about today. The first one is called Million Stories, entertainment that's right on the money. It's a channel on the internet that shows videos. And then we have a game called Venture Valley Game that I'm very excited to tell you about. So I'll start with Million Stories. Million Stories is a free mobile-first digital entertainment channel. So the idea is that most people are going to watch content on their phone, so we'll make it for phones. And we'll create stories that are so compelling that you'll want to watch them whether you care about financial literacy or not. We'll make them high quality so they're interesting, and we'll have stories with celebrities and with regular people, stories about their lives. And so what I'd like to do is, rather than tell you about Million Stories, is show you a quick trailer. It'll give you an idea what Million Stories is all about.
Half of the American workforce are millennials, but 2/3 of us are living paycheck to paycheck.
A lot of what we learned was on YouTube. The economy failed, the coal mine shut down.
My name is Jason Howes. I run a food truck.
My name is Devin Reimer. Started making games.
This is American Paycheck.
How much I talk to my son about money. Not as much as I should.
Nobody teaches you about money in school.
Everything goes to my kids, my money, my time, my body, my emotions.
Thing is though, there's no instruction manual for parenting.
Hello, this is Closell.
Peter Ramsey.
India Kinney Stern.
Nancy Liu. I was named Forbes 30 Under 30.
I'm one of the directors of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
I'm a veteran motion picture stuntman.
A 3-time Olympic medalist.
People were leaving out of my life.
I had no job.
Epic flop.
This is my face plant.
Everybody bring it in. This is how we're gonna attack your student loan debt.
Step 1, know exactly how much you owe.
This site built your credit.
All right, guys, cards aren't bad if you use them responsibly.
You're adulting now. Adult!
My name is George Igo, and with some research, planning, and a little creativity, I find the best things to do in a city, all without spending more than $100. This is George Goes Everywhere.
I'm Danelle Leva.
I'm Nancy Liu.
I'm Peter Ramsey.
I'm Richard Sherman.
You better be watching Million Stories now.
Watch Million Stories now. I mean, I'm on it, so.
So Million Stories went live at millionstories.com at the beginning of July. And you may have recognized some of the faces there. So the idea is once you've watched the video, we take you to our resources center. So if you're watching Richard Sherman talk about credit cards and credit card debt, then you would get a tag at the bottom. It would say, dive deeper, and it would take you to some lessons, some interactive lessons about credit cards and learning how to manage your debt, or if it was about budgets, or if you're watching Milk Money, which is all about families and the cost of parenting, you could click over to see family budgets. So the idea is that the videos are the spoonful of sugar to make the learning medicine go down. And then we wanted it to be popular because we can't reach a lot of people if it's not popular. So we engaged some celebrities. Some of you might recognize Marshmallow up here. It's a very famous DJ. We did a video together called Powered. It was all about how he saved up to invest in his business through his job. We've got 37 million views as of last week. And so that's getting really close to that cat video I mentioned. Glozell is a YouTube star with over 10 million followers. Her episode of Faceplant, which celebrates the lessons that you learn from failure, is one of our most popular ones. Sports, Richard Sherman from the 49ers. He's a huge financial literacy advocate and cares about it a lot. He grew up in Compton and went to Stanford on both academic and football scholarships. And so he teaches all about adulting, those first financial decisions you make. And then, I don't know if any of you have seen The Circle, but it was a reality show on Netflix. And Joey Sasso was the winner. He teamed up with financial expert Gene Chatsky and employment expert Johnny Taylor from SHRM, the Society for HR Executives, to create a series called Heads or Tails, which we put out on Instagram just to help people through the pandemic and the changes that were happening in employment, and the questions that were coming up people had about paying their student loans, or were they going to get a stimulus check? And then Peter Ramsey talked about his difficulties and struggles, and he was the director of Into the Spider-Verse. And so we have all these wonderful people that have come on to help us spread the word and talk about what we're doing. And then millennials use Instagram more than any other social media network. So even though Facebook is the most popular, Instagram is where all the young people are. So we have a very avid Instagram program, which is where we do a lot of our marketing. And you can see here, Glozell got 2 million views on her show. That's more than we see a lot of popular things on entertainment channels get. So very popular stuff. And then if you're going to have a movement, you have to have people that make it their own and take it on the streets. So we've formed an advisory council, and it's filled with people from all walks of life. This is our leadership committee, and they're recruiting young people from all over the country who tell us their opinions. What do they think? They get together to watch the shows and to take the lessons and to tell their friends about it. Some of these are just regular people, and a lot of them joined. They have followers, and they're all volunteers who are interested in helping everyone learn about financial literacy. This gal's a writer. This guy is a teacher. This guy's a YouTube expert. We have wealth managers, some executives from the game industry. This is a Latina social media influencer who speaks about money. This is a marketing guy, and that's just the beginning. And of course, where would we be without partners? Because when you're trying to start a movement, you can't do it by yourself. You need to work with others. So we've started engaging a number of partners. Some give us content. Some help take our content and put it in markets where people wouldn't see it. And we give away all of our content for free because we want it to be accessible to everyone. So CEO is a college organization. They're on 250 campuses. They have entrepreneurship clubs. They have 16,000 students. Chegg is the company that rents textbooks to students, and they have a new service called Chegg Money, which is free, and they're showing some of our videos. They reach about 37 million people a year. EverFi has provided us with some of our wonderful learning materials, and they're a financial education company. G-Fleck I mentioned. Her Money is Jean Chatsky's company. She was the finance expert on NBC. Jumpstart is a coalition of teachers from all over the country. They have 50 chapters, and they are all the teachers that are teaching financial literacy or trying to bring those lessons into schools. Nifty is a network for teaching entrepreneurship. They teach entrepreneurial mindset, all the things like resilience and curiosity and problem solving, flexibility, the things you need to run a business. This organization reaches out to the traditionally Black colleges, and Working Nation is helping close the working gap by giving people the skills and the information they know they need to get jobs in this changing economy. And then the other thing people are doing when they're not watching their phone is they're playing games. So today the game business is bigger than the music industry and the film industry combined. And there's a new kind of gaming that you may or may not have heard of called esports. And it's where people playing video games are playing in organized leagues, and then other people are watching on TV. So this, in 2020, it's predicted that 495 million people will be playing esports. And CIF, the California Intramural Federation that manages all the high school sports in California, set up an official esports program, which they're very excited about because it's a kind of sport that you can play whether you're tall and muscular or somebody that's smaller or somebody that's sitting in a wheelchair. Everyone can participate in esports. So what we've decided to do is tap into that. And we are creating a wonderful esports style game that we are calling Venture Valley. And in Venture Valley, you get to be an entrepreneur. You get the opportunity to run your own business, make all the financial decisions. You control the pricing and the marketing and how much R&D you spend. And you start out with a very simple business, which is a pet walking business. And as you learn and new skills and grow in confidence, you may open up a robotics factory or a gelato factory or a drone delivery business. You can play by yourself. You can play with your friends. You can play on teams and compete in esports. And like we've done with Million Stories, we're partnering with wonderful companies. So we're working with a company called Super League Gaming that runs amateur esports tournaments all over the country. In fact, they helped put Minecraft on the map. And they were so in love with the idea of a game about entrepreneurship. And when you compete with your friends, now instead of trying to blow each other up, now you're putting your brains together and competing on who's got the best strategies and the best smarts. This is a game that'll be available on Mac, PC, iOS, and Android, and it's coming out in the beginning of 2021. And while you're on your journey learning how to play this game, you have these wonderful advisors to help guide you. And so I'd like to take a minute and show you a little bit about what it's about.
Okay. Entre.
No. Okay. E-N-T-R-U.
E-N-T-R-E-P-R-E-N-E-U-R. I'd probably hire somebody that knows more about how to set up a business.
Well, I would have absolutely no idea what my first step would be.
I would have no clue what to do.
You got this.
Good luck, sugar.
If you don't like the outputs, change the inputs.
If I figured this out, you can too.
2 words, net profit.
I definitely have wanted to be my own boss.
I have really always wanted to be my own boss one day.
Being your own boss, I think that is something you should definitely strive for.
Oh, cool. A dog walking business?
Wow, you've built a solid customer base. You should turn this into a real business.
So this is a game that's built for everyone from 13 plus, although there are some younger players that are very smart that are killing us all at playing the game. It doesn't look much like the educational games that we've all enjoyed in schools. My kids grew up playing Carmen Sandiego and Oregon Trail. This is a game that is meant to be played for fun, and the learning's all under the hood. So we put together some really skilled game designers. The head of our game team was responsible for a lot of Sonic the Hedgehogs and worked on John Madden Football and a lot of those games. And then behind the scenes, there's a bunch of finance professors that looked at what we were teaching. So it feels like fun, but you're actually learning And one day we had one of our college interns come in and say to us, start talking about the game, and started talking about ROI. And we said, well, where did you learn the term ROI? And he said, I learned it playing the game. So we're very excited for this to come out. But we're making all this entertainment, and you might wonder, is it working? So we're really early. Our foundation's pretty new. I joined in the beginning. I was employee number 1 in 2017. And Million Stories just launched in July, and Venture Valley's coming out in January. But we're really excited about what we're seeing so far. So we've grown from 0 to 13,000 followers on Instagram in 2 months. We've already brought over 500,000 people to come visit us at Million Stories. And of those, over 11,000 have used the learning resources. And on Instagram, we're over 4 million views. So we think we're off to a good start. And the press has been very kind to us. We've been recently featured in the Hollywood Reporter, Sports Illustrated, Animation Magazine. Bloomberg just did a wonderful piece on the game. ABC News, Sony Pictures, among others, and there's new press coming every day. So we feel like we're in a good place to start and to hold hands with the other people in this industry and really try to move this conversation into a national conversation. So, as I said, you can't have a movement without people that want to take it on and make it their own. That's where you guys all come in. So if this is something that's interesting, we welcome you. But we really want to solve this problem. And thank you very much. Is there time for questions?
Yes. Okay. I'm gonna, if you are okay, actually, one person had a question about your contact information, and I see it right here on the slide. So folks that want to contact Shelley, please, there's her phone number there and her email address. And Shelley, are you able to share this presentation with us by any chance?
I can make a version of it.
Okay, great. Great. Okay. Let me go ahead and stop sharing here and then get into the grid view so that I can see who has their hand up. Okay, any questions for Shelley? Please raise your hand. Barbara Weiss, if you can unmute. Let me try to unmute. Yeah, if you can unmute.
Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
I thought you had the game on fast forward, and I understand it was not on fast forward. I was on slow, and I'm not sure I could possibly follow this game, but I commend you. It's just incredible, and I have a number of people with whom I'd like to share the information. And thank you so much. It's just wonderful.
Thank you very much. One of the most exciting things I'm loving about this position is when I have new employees or people. We had a lot of millennials come in to tell us what was important to them and what they had trouble with as they were coming up with the ideas for the shows, because the shows are all written by millennials for millennials, and then the financial advisors are in the back. But one of our newest employees came up to me last week and said, you know, I've just gotten out of college and I watched the Richard Sherman show on budgeting, and then I took the budgeting class and I realized that I need to make a budget. And that was a wonderful moment.
Great. Thank you, Barbara, for your question. JP.
Yes, Shelley, can you give us an idea of when that game will be on the market? Because I understand it's still in heavy testing phase right now.
Yeah, we're planning for it to be ready in early 2021.
Mm-hmm. Great.
So we're in the part where it's built and now we're testing it. So we started with small groups of people testing it, and not just for bugs, but to tell us what they like about it, what they don't like about it. We have academics testing it to say, are there things that you should do a better job at? And then we keep growing the testing circles. And so now we're at the part where the testing is growing because there's enough of a game there to play.
Great. Andrew, you have a question? Are you going to unmute yourself? Andrew Kindler? Okay, we'll come back to him. Does anyone else have a question? Denise?
So Shelley, thank you. This is right up my alley because we have the District 5300 business plan competition that doesn't
Yes, I did.
get off
You know,
the
this is a
ground.
great service that you're doing because I find the lack of it is absolutely
Andrew?
astounding.
Andrew?
It's like it froze up.
Sorry, Andrew?
It's okay now, I think. Something
Andrew,
stopped.
let me have Denise just finish her question. I'll come right back to you, okay?
So Shelley, and I did not know that you were Phil's wife, and now I understand when he talks about his better half. That I get that. So we have our District 5300 business plan competition that we can't quite get off the ground every year. San Marino competes, Arcadia competes, Pasadena competes, but we see small business as absolutely the future. Every small business is going to hire 1 or 2 or 3 people, and that's how this is going to work. And now, I mean, just yesterday they said 1 in 6 restaurants is permanently closed. So small businesses, we have to support them. That said, this new game is going to be fabulous. At what age can we start with our kids on that? I teach middle school, and I think it'd be really cool if they understood, especially my 91108 kids. So they don't have to budget much for the most part.
Yes, so we're testing it with kids as young as junior high and some before. So because it's a video game and the topics are introduced one at a time and you're playing, we found even one 10-year-old who happens to be exceptionally bright. He's killing us all at the game and has been writing us ideas to improve it. We have to say it's for ages 13 and above. But games are different than video content. So games have broader age ranges that people play. So it'll be appropriate.
If you need a cohort of children from San Marino 91108, my Rotary Interactors would love to check this out.
I will, if you could send me a note.
I sure will. Thank you.
Yeah, because the person that's coordinating all that, I can send the information to her. We're so lucky that our head of marketing was the head of marketing at Sony PlayStation at one point in her career.
Wow.
And so everybody on the team really knows what they're doing. The reason they're doing this is they think it's important.
And my kids have told me, my San Marino graduates, I always ask them during Thanksgiving, so what could we have taught you more about? And they're like, Miss Wadsworth, we don't know how to do our taxes. I'm like, there you go. So those are the kinds of things they really want to know. They want to know how to manage their money.
And the resources on Million Stories are available to them free right now. So if you go to millionstories.com and look up resources, it's all there for you.
I already started checking during your presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Denise. That was a very generous offer. Andrew, I think we lost him. Are you still here, Andrew?
I have a question for my wife, if I may.
Sure.
Shelley, how much is the game going to cost? Am I putting you on the spot by asking you that question? I think people might want to know.
It won't cost as much as Fortnite.
How much is the game going to cost to you to play?
Oh, to use it?
It's
absolutely free, and there are no in-app purchases.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, that was
so
great.
When we say we want it to be accessible, we want everyone to be able to afford to play. And there's no world prizes that come with this game. So we're trying to make them meaningful. So they might be scholarships, they might be internships, it might be the opportunity to be a shoutcaster at an esports tournament, all kinds of things. We're looking for things that kids can meet that will change their lives for the good.
And how does that differ from other commercial foundations or other commercial operators that have financial literacy as their, how do you differ from them?
Well, we went around and met with a lot of them, and we love them because we're all trying to do this together.
Yeah.
So most of them build curriculum and try to get the curricula into schools, and they're very good at it. And so we were looking for ways to do what they're not doing, so we could all help each other. So we kind of see ourselves as experts in engagement. So we come from entertainment and marketing, and we know how to get people to come on in.
Okay, great. And then Fong Ho, you had a question? If you can unmute yourself.
Hi, Shelley, thank you for coming in to speak with us. I'd like to share with fellow Rotarians over here and Shelley. I'm a serial entrepreneur. Over 30 years, I've owned different businesses. And my first two businesses, I failed terribly. I borrowed money from my parents. And then, you know, someone in the family had comment like, you know, can you not have big dreams? And it never worked. So, but my big dream had carried me over 30 years, and I'm comfortable now. And I would like to share with you that starting a business is so easy. It's so easy. The hardest thing is really money management and getting a loan from the bank. So nowadays, it's harder to get it from the bank. My first bank experience was with an SBA loan, and it's only for $100,000. I took that loan, and all the way to now that I feel like whatever the success I have now is from that one small loan, 100,000. So I'd like to understand in your game, is there anything that's loan related, small business loan related, or during the entrepreneurship journey, the hardest is also when you struggle and you need all that different kind of support. In the beginning, everything is so perfect during starting a business. You know, you only think about success, but there are some times that you went under, or when you're trying to make it work and it did not work the way you wanted it, and that's when you need the most help.
Yes, so we have one of our shows is called Faceplant, and Faceplant is all about people who have failed, had a failure, either in their business or in their lives, and how the steps they had to take to work themselves back from that, and some of the coursework we have. In the game, we do have loans, but they're not a very realistic representation of it, because in order to make the gameplay keep moving, we had to kind of pick what we emphasize. But when you open a business, you can, the dog walking business is free to open, but if you want to buy a coffee shop, that costs money. And sometimes you don't have enough money, and you can borrow the money and you can go bankrupt. And you're having to, the game is all about learning how to manage the finances. I was a CPA at the beginning of my career. And what I learned is when I went into being an entrepreneur is that probably the most important thing you have to learn about is managing cash, right? And so a lot of this is about managing cash and the financial aspects of it.
Good question, Fong. Thank you. And Andrew Kindler, I'm sorry we had
Okay,
to...
I'm back on the line.
Okay,
Sorry
great,
about that. I was trying to avoid the noise outside. I came inside, it switched from data to Wi-Fi and made a mess. But anyway, I just wanted to say that, you know, I'm so glad you're doing this, because my own experience is that people seem to have not even the most fundamental understanding of things financial. And I don't know how they can be in a world that is so financially sophisticated these days and know so little. So this is a great service. And I just wanted to say that. Thank you.
Well,
Thank you, Andrew. Barbara Weiss again.
One last question, Shelley. How are you funded? Does the Singleton Foundation fund this all, or are your partners, the commercial partners, helping?
Well, so at the beginning, the Singleton Foundation has funded this all. We're an operating foundation, not a grant giving foundation. And our goal is to find a way to be financially sustainable. So we are starting to work on that part now, but first we wanted to prove that we can do what we said we were going to go out and do. So the Singletons have been very generous to us, which is all I can say.
Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. Denise.
Do you
already have plans for beta versions in Spanish and Mandarin?
You know, we have those things on our roadmap, but we haven't gone there yet. Fortunately, most of the game, there's only a small amount of talking or text bubbles, but you know, it's a big redesign. So we're starting out in English, and then as we see how it grows, then we'll make those decisions. But we know that multilingual is very, very important.
Great, thank you, Shelley.
I have a question, Shelley. It's Maurice. I'm in the financial services industry, so it's not limited to kids. But I'm wondering, maybe I missed it because I was really taken by your presentation. What has completely motivated you to, at this point in your career, to go back and say, I'm going to go start with 13-year-olds? Like, is it because you felt like you had this epiphany, that you felt like the world was going to burn up into a fireball unless we taught our kids about money? Or did this, like, what was the inspiration?
Well, so the inspiration was we wanted to start with millennials. And the reason we wanted to start with millennials is because they're the biggest part of the workforce, and they have this great need, and the world's changing, and they're starting to have kids, and we want them to be able to have the knowledge to teach their kids. With the game was really designed kind of aiming at the sweet spot in gaming, which is kind of high school, well, actually high school through 35. But as we were developing the game, we found that it had appeal and could be fun for 13-year-olds too. And so since we really know that everyone needs this knowledge, everyone has to stand on their own 2 feet nowadays, and you know, there aren't the kind of programs. When I started my career, there was such a thing as a fixed benefit pension you could get, right? And that doesn't exist anymore. And you could stay at a company for a long time.
Yeah.
And so, you know, looking ahead at all the changes, especially with technology and with, you know, especially the kids that graduated in 2008, 2009, couldn't get jobs, and now they just got hit again. We just felt that having this knowledge was so important. And it's always been the foundation's goal to be able to age down and age up. When we got into the video game, we found that, well, video games aren't age targeted, they're more style of play targeted. So there's people that like casual games, and there's people that like strategy games, and there's people that like Sims. And so the market is defined differently. The magic number of 13 comes from the COPA laws, which are designed to protect companies from soliciting information from children. And so most companies are pretty careful about not directly marketing to children, because if, for example, if you join a tournament, you might have to give your email address in order to get the prize. And so that's kind of the cutoff for 13. But anybody that's old enough to play Monopoly well, you know, or any kind of strategy game is probably going to have a good time.
Thank you. Good question, Maurice.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Shelley? Check screen number 2. Please raise your hand if you have any more questions for Shelley. Shelley, thank you so much. That was an extremely terrific talk. Thank you so much. We will be donating a book on your behalf to our Crow Public Library. So thank you. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Okay, folks, the last, I would say 5-6 weeks, we've had tremendous quality of speakers. Wouldn't you agree? This has been really good, really mind-blowing. So we want to thank JP, Stephanie Johnson, Bill Payne, Linda Waugh, and anyone who's contributed speakers. Thank you so much for the quality of speakers we've received the last 5 weeks. Our attendance is growing. Today we got up to a peak of 42, so it's tremendous. Thank you so much. Okay, next week for our program, our guest speaker is Michael T. Roberts on the role of food law in everyday consumer products. So that should be interesting as well. Rotarians and guests, thank you for joining us at today's meeting. We'd like to thank all of the guests that joined us today. Philip Miles, thank you for coming. Please come back. Jacob Rosard, Dr. Lynn, Jason Kurtenbach, Devin, Isabel Duran, and Daryl Topalian. Thank you so much for coming today. Please continue coming. With that, the September 17, 2020 meeting of the Rotary Club of San Marino is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron.
Aaron.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Aaron, was
Shelley.
it
Thanks, everyone.
Yes, immediately after this is a board meeting, yes.
on this Zoom?
No, it's a link that I sent you via email.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you.
Thanks, Aaron.
Thank you, Maurice. Great questions, everyone.
Hey, Aaron?
Yes.
Yeah, will you be sending her information out? I would
Yes,
love
as
to.
soon as I get it, I'll ask her one more time, and then I'll send it out.
All right, thank
I'll ask Russ to send it out on the rotoscope.
Aaron, is the board meeting going to start right away or at 12:30?
1:35.
1:30, and then
I'll be there, but if we can get people there, that'd be great. Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. Hi, Jean. Thank you for coming. Thank you, James. Hey, Russ.